this isn't going to be so much as a review, so much as it is a more or less me talking about this particular comic. Now, this is I was reading, as most of you guys know from when I talked about the convention hall. One of a few comics I got were Brave and the Bold comics, and I want to talk about this one right here. Batman and Wildcat team up in Brave and the Bold number 127. So, more or less, this comic has some of the dumbest scenes I've ever seen in comics. Now, I have to remember that this is this is 1978 when this comic was made, so you could get away with some idiotic stuff, but I just think it's hilarious. You know, if you look at it from how the characters are now, from then, it's hilarious. That's how my mindset was. So the first thing was Batman. You know, the opening scene is Batman about to stop a fight between these two illegal immigrants, and suddenly the only reason he can't stop them from killing each other is because his foot gets caught in a hole in the shipyard deck. That's right. The world's greatest detective can't stop a fight, two people killing each other basically, because his foot got caught. That's it. And then it gets on further than that, because Batman discovers this illegal smuggling thing. This illegal smuggling ring, excuse me. And he decides to go to this little made-up island near Mexico. Now, you'd think logic would dictate, if this was, Batman, as we all know, he'd take the Batwing, or the Batplane, however you want to call it, and fly there, right, by himself. That's where logic... Not this time. What happens is, and you're gonna all laugh when you hear this, but Batman, the next scenes find Batman in a jetliner, not as Bruce Wayne, but in the full Batman costume. So I had this hilarious scene running through my head of Batman taking the Batmobile to the airport, parking it there, walking in his Batman costume, getting a ticket, waiting for his plane, getting on there, and this doesn't even look like first class. It's hilarious. Like, the more I thought about it, the funnier it got, because this was all in his Batman costume. Everyone's okay with it. It's not like, are you some crazy guy, or are you really Batman? He just got on, and everyone's like, oh yeah, sure, Batman. And then it gets funnier, because then Batman when he gets on the island, he shares a cab with, I'm not spoiling anything because this comic is really old, Batman shares a cab with the guy who later we find out is the villain of the story, called El Zapato, who is literally called the Shoemaker. Yep, that's the villain's name in English. Yep. So Batman shared a cab with somebody still in the Batman costume. Again, yes, I know, this was a different time. This was like Silver Age comics, and I love it. I'm not saying I hate this. I think it's hilarious. Like, you could look back at some... It's kind of like that famous scene in Batman comics with Batman slapping Robin, saying, "My parents are dead." It's kind of like that scene where you can look at it and think it's awesome and funny at the same... It's stupid, hilarious, and funny at the same time. Now, among other things that happened in this comic is pretty much things like the Wildcat fighting this guy. You see that guy who's making his crotch explode right there? At the bottom, right there? That character's name is Iron Fist. That's right, Iron Fist with a little dash in between. And keep in mind, Iron Fist was already an established Marvel character, but I guess they got away with it by putting a little dash right there. Among other things, there's this other scene where Wildcat gets kidnapped by the smugglers, and the only way he can contact Batman, who's using just a regular boat to track them, he starts spilling oil out of the boat into the wildlife, and he's like, I know this will damage the environment, but I gotta think of something. And he just leaks oil everywhere to have it trailing. That's not really dumb, I just think it's kind of, nowadays, I think people would find that kind of wrong, in today's society. But among other things, there are other scenes where Batman and Wildcat find these immigrants being mistreated, and he's like, we can't help them, they're out of America. So Batman tells Wildcat, we can't help them, they're not under Uncle Sam's jurisdiction. Nice to know Batman's all pro-Republican, I guess. Anywho, yeah, I don't hate this comic. I think it's just hilarious. Like, I actually had to stop reading the comic and just bust out laughing because I just love this. Sometimes I just really love this kind of campy, fun writing, and it's just all good. I just really wanted to talk about this comic because I was done reading it and I was telling Dan and Tori GNR1 and Shades at Night about this, and they just all bust out laughing when I was explaining this to them. Oh God, this was just too funny not to share with the rest of you guys. So hope you all enjoyed this.